Hey everyone, I hope you're having a really great week. I'm coming to you on a Sunday night where I'm not sure what's more restful, the weekdays or the weekend anymore. And I wasn't really actually sure what I was going to prepare tonight until I went to the farm and just kind of looked for inspiration. I don't know about you, but I don't always have a plan, and you might think that I do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I have sort of a mission on what I want to get to you or what I want to prepare for my family. I have a long list of things that are on my mind and I can't wait to get. This week I went to the farm on a whim on Friday. I just wanted to look around and see what looked fresh. Now the beautiful thing about that was that I left with baskets full of baskets full of goodies and food and just wonderful time with some acquaintances and people at the market. It was a really great experience. That being said, I have now put together what is sometimes a typical weeknight meal for us, or a Sunday night meal when I'm feeling super sleepy. I'm in my sweatpants and I'm just not wanting to go outside to grill. This is what I'm gonna make, okay? Now today I'm gonna highlight a pork collar steak. This is pork. It has the marbling a bit like a ribeye. All right, all I've done so far is salt it and bring it to room temperature. And these come frozen in the freezer section. And I ran into Hunter, and we realized that this is something that we should probably highlight for you all, because it's a cut of pork that's like a pork. You're gonna cook it like a pork chop, but it's a totally different experience in some ways. The beauty though is that it is almost fail-proof. You just have to sear it quick and hot and no stress. And I'm going to show you how to do that on a cast iron skillet right here. It's actually smoking and ready to go because I just wanted it super hot. And I didn't want to turn on my grill. Grilling is wonderful all season long, but I'm just feeling kind of cozy and like I didn't want to be outside tonight, okay? So you can cook these in a cast iron skillet. If you're interested in deglazing the pan afterwards, that means that when you take your pork out, you can then sort of add some broth and some mustard and some sauces to make kind of a gravy, a sauce to go over top. You can also, if that's not in the wheelhouse for you and you just want to be super, super quick, you could take a griddle just like this. This is a carbon steel by Maiden, but there are others, and just invest in a good quality, heavy steel, or cast iron skillet, and this will keep you for generations, okay? So that's also great for searing. So I wanted to get that out and show you that that's an option as well, okay? So I'm gonna fit about 3 of these in at a time. You may absolutely stagger them. And I might be able to fit more, but I don't want you to crowd them actually. Well, let me see. Let me see what I can do. Yeah, I might fit 5. I take that back. I can actually fit them in pretty well. Now, once you put them in your pan, I don't want you to touch them. They're going to take about 3 minutes this side. It's as easy as it gets. And like I said, I put salt, some garlic powder, and some pepper on them. They can take any herbs and spices you love though, okay? So if you have a Cajun rub or something smoky or interesting, a little spicy, feel free to coat it in that prior. If not, the simplest will do, and then you can, like I said, afterwards, by all means, deglaze your pan and then make a sauce of your choosing. What I'm doing today is I'm going to use some broth, some Worcestershire sauce, some whole grain mustard, and some apple butter from Solebury Orchard. Okay, it's a little sweet, a little mustardy, a little bit of complexity. You can add some garlic or some finely diced onions into that as well, and that's really delicious, okay? Another thing I love to use on pork cuts like this is something like a fig jam. So if you have that with a little broth and some oil, maybe some white wine, is fabulous. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Another really great thing to keep in your back pocket are chutneys. So when you're cooking pork like this, either pork tenderloins or pork chops, and you just want to give them a simple grill or sear or a broil in your oven, then you just want something quick to put on them, a chutney is a great choice. So let me show you. I have things in my pantry like, let's see if I can find one for you on a whim. right now, but I have things like mango chutney, a cranberry chutney, a hot tomato chutney. Get creative, look around in the jam section. They're fantastic. Just put right on top of your pork, okay? Any different cut of pork. It's just like my go-to weeknight idea to just amp up the flavor a little bit beyond just seasoning it with salt and pepper, okay? Let me show you what else I'm making, just to give you a sense of how I'm sort of balancing all of this. Again, I had no plan. I just knew that we've been eating so much candy, so much sweets, a ton of celebrating, a lot of socializing, and I'm kind of wiped out, but also needing to kind of re-nourish myself, and I need to do that for my family too. So I got golden and red beets. They're boiling. It's one of my favorite, easiest ways to get really soft, tender beets. And what I'm going to do is once they're finished cooking and they're really soft, I'll drain them. And then the skin, once they're slightly cool, the skin just comes right off. And then I'll just dice them in some large pieces. I'm going to serve them over some Greek yogurt combined with feta cheese. So a whipped feta dip on the plate, some beets, some chopped pistachios on top, a little drizzle of honey, and some fresh herbs. Okay. Now again, it's Sunday, so I have a little bit of extra time on my hands, even if I don't have all the energy, right? The next thing I'm doing is I'm sauteing some Swiss chard. So what I do with my Swiss chard here is that I cut the ends down really nice and fine so that they can go in first. Then I will add the leafy or delicate parts towards the end. Okay? Not everything's finished at the same time. Swiss chard needs like a two-step process, ideally, if you want to keep the textures consistent. And then the only other thing I have going on, other than, you might see over there, I baked some banana bread. Not really, with Spring Creek Farm eggs, maybe some honey, you know, all good things, right? Not bananas, obviously, from the farm. And then I'm also finishing up here, I can turn off my oven now, roasting some cauliflower. I've given you this recipe before, it's one of my favorites. And this is cauliflower roasted with some onion and some chickpeas, curry powder, cumin, garlic. Okay, it's simple. The cauliflower at the market right now is to die for. Same with the Swiss chard. These are all Spring Creek Farm grown veggies, and they're peak prime, and they are just irresistible. Okay, so I just left there with an entire assortment of stuff. I have fennel, and I have parsnips and carrots and onions and more beets, another head of cauliflower. I couldn't resist. A red cabbage. Oh my gosh, the red cabbage at the farm right now is stunning. It's just stunning. Okay, so go in and explore. So you can see this is what I have going on right now. Okay, so these are ready to go. While I was chatting, you can see here they are golden and crispy. They're cooking beautifully. I'll show you. Okay, this is going to be a heavy pan. All right, look at this. Perfect. Let it sizzle. Let it do its thing. That was a couple minutes per side. All right. Now, once that's finished, this is what I want you to do. You're going to take your pork out of the pan. This is if you want a little bit of a sauce. You might as well. There's so much flavor concentrated in here with a bit of the fat, the renderings from the pork. Also a little bit of the cooking oil that I had in there. And then I'm simply going to add in a bit of broth, a little Worcestershire sauce, some mustard, Dijon mustard, or whole grain mustard. Would do a honey mustard, I guess, but I would stick to sort of the Dijons. That kind of has some flavors of the white wine built into it. And then the apple butter or the fig jam or something a little bit sweet. And you just get it a little bit simmery, you know, cook it down a bit, and then pour it over the pork, and you're good to go. And it's something that feels elevated and complex with the littlest of effort. Okay? So happy cooking this week. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to collaborate with you. And then I hope you have a really great week. So again, we have our pork. Get this pork collar. It's really interesting. It cooks like a beef, like I had said. Our beets, our Swiss chard, and our cauliflower all rocking and rolling. I can't wait for the leftovers. All right. Be well. Thanks for tuning in.